Embersword's test is live. Have you heard of a blockchain game, Embersword? If you haven't, it is great that you are here because it is still early days. If you have, then great. You will love the footage we're going to share with you of the game today. As an investor in blockchain gaming, I made over 100x on Axie Infinity and believe there are massive gains still to be had on many blockchain games, especially the blockchain games that are off of people's radar. But where I think there are much better than normal things that are happening. Today, we'll take a look at Embersword and their latest version or their test version open today for those who have a badge from them or have purchased land either directly or through the secondary market. And I have been buying lots of land and their land NFTs over the past 6 months. And the founders of Embersword are longtime gamers and have worked in the gaming industry for years. They have some background in crypto, but more importantly, their background is in gaming. And they ran one of the largest guilds in RuneScape. Now, RuneScape is a popular MMORPG, and they wanted to make something that would take those concepts to a much higher level. That is, then because RuneScape was built like 20 years ago. And the technology today has gotten way better, as well as they want to integrate it with blockchain for what I call the ownership society, where you can own what you earn rather than the game maker owning all of the assets in the game. Today, I'm going to show you what this world is looking like so you can get a feel for how far ahead they are over many games that are out there. This isn't showcasing the fighting and other mechanisms that they already have that aren't unlocked for this test that I'm going to share with you. It is showing the world, the harvesting, and the crafting. In prep for this, I've already harvested some wood and some stone to be able to show you some crafting and basic items. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. Now, if you like money and crypto and you're looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking this video, subscribing with that all notifications bell enabled. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects that I don't believe in. Special thanks to our Patreon members. We do have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. Now, make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. Let's welcome our producer, D Money.
Hey, what up, Jay? How's it going today, man?
Good. You know, that inner nerd in me that's loved gaming since the age of like 7. What I didn't realize back then is how much money there would be in gaming down the road as an investor. And that gets me excited that my passion of gaming since I was 7 and my passion with investing or making my money work for me have
Well,
come
it's
together.
like, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, like it was everybody's dream to play video games for a living, right? You know, and what everybody thought was like, oh, if I could test video games out for a living, that was like the only concept that my little brain could come up with was like maybe I can just test them and be like, that's fun or that's not, don't or whatever like that. But to see these technologies advancing and seeing opportunities to actually make money, is it enough for a living? I mean, certainly it could be with some of these investments.
Especially on the investor side, if you make some good placed investments, right? I invested in Axie Infinity's land, and from $4,000 turned into about $400,000. And in many places, 400,000 is enough to pay your taxes and buy a house outright. And fair to say that that changes your living conditions tremendously. And that was on one game, and I sold too early because if I had waited, it went all the way up to 4 to 5 million at the peak. From that $4,000 investment. So are we in the right place? Yes. Are we at the right time? Well, you missed the boat on Axie Infinity, but are there other boats that might be possible? Let's take a look, and I'm going to share my screen here. Now, we're actually on Embersword's site, and let's see, can we add it in? Oh, there we go. We're on Embersword's site, and we've already clicked on the Play Tech Test button, and it's taken us to this. Now, I'm already loaded in here because my computer crashed earlier and I lost all the stuff I had harvested and some of the things that were happening. So I've already loaded into this. You can see my character. If you zoom in, looks pretty cool, but I've got no armor or anything on yet. And here is the area. Now I moved away from this area purposely. This is where I was harvesting some trees and some stone. And it looks like somebody came and harvested them. There are other places or things that you can do. See, these stones that aren't white, that don't have a symbol in them, you can't harvest them. We're looking for ones that are like this, but then this blue part is still active. So that node's been depleted. And this is the world. Now, let me share with you a few things. If I press, I think we can equip some things. I'm going to equip this rusty great sword, as well as I'm going to put on the chest plate and put on the helmet. So let's get a view. We're going to equip some things here so you can get a feel what the character could look like, right? And so I've got some things harvested here. Let me share with you. If I go to the help button, it tells me what I can do. So I want to go to the crafting menu. And I want to craft some things. So let's see. I want to craft a helmet of solace. So I need 2 stone and looks like 2 wood. I'm going to craft that. And helmet of solace crafted. Now, my character, I need to unequip. Let's see. Character menu is C. So I'm going to unequip this. Oh, I unequipped the wrong things. There we go. Now my inventory, I want to equip that new helmet that I made. This is the helmet. Bam. So it's got a blue look. All right. So let's go to the crafting menu again. Let's see. Heavy chest plate. We're going to craft one of these. All right. We crafted the heavy chest plate. So there's the light chest plate. Here's the heavy, and we're going to equip that. There we go. It also has this blue look. So that starts to give you a feel for what is available there. Now, as far as like harvesting some resources, we're going to run around and find a little farm. And so this is one of those rocks that is harvestable if the blue thing is lit up, and it's not presently lit up. If I'm remembering right, there's a little farm over here. And somebody's harvested it all. There we go. That's a little sound it makes as you harvest these things. Oh yeah.
So these are other people who are playing right now.
Oh yeah. So as far as I could tell, there might be 100 to 200 people on right now. So this is just kind of a stress test, seeing how it's doing. And just harvested some carrots there. Oh, requires harvesting level 5. So apparently you got to sit here and harvest all the carrots. And it is leveling me up, as well as, I think, the character menu. What is it? C? No. Crafting menu. Skill progression. Oh, did I just freeze it? There we go. Okay, so this is showing. There we go. My gathering is at level 2. Something else. My harvesting or resources is at level 6. Crafting is at level 7. Okay, so if I were to continue harvesting these, then in the crafting menu, you'll be able to craft potions. I don't know that enough resources are available to craft potions. Maybe I would need this lettuce, and then I need some onions, and maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is lettuce over here that I just don't have the ability to get yet.
Yeah, you got to be good to harvest lettuce.
Oh man,
everyone knows that.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to work on my skills. So this is a view of the gameplay. It gives you an idea of some resources in crafting. I'm gonna move away from all of the nums. So, there we go. These yellow trees are choppable. So here I'm harvesting some wood.
So, Rain, is there like what can you invest in? Is there a token for Embersword right now?
Great question. So there's no token yet. There's really just land, and the land is tradable on 2 places that I'm going to show. Let me pull it up. There's two places you can buy Embersword land on right now, and that's OpenSea right here, and then what's called Token Trove, tokentrove.com. So just spelled like this with .com on there. You can see the full lineup there. And what I like about this is I often go here and I sort by lowest price. And so this gives you the entry level land. This is, I forget the name of it. It's like common land. There we go. It's just land. There are more expensive ones like a settlement. It starts at 1.4 Ethereum. There's towns that start at 7.3 ETH. And you can see on the map, these little purple things, these are towns. And then there's cities that are really expensive on the resale market. Now, I think the city plots were, I forget, was it 0.5 ETH? And there are no city plots available for sale right now. That's why that's not showing up. So we're just going to look at the most basic plots. Often this is the entry level plots are where the most appreciation is. And that's what I generally look at. So what I like about Token Trove is when you can actually see where the piece of land is on the overall map. So here's a map of Solarwood, which is the first portion released in Embersword. And so if you highlight over it, it'll show you where that is, as well as, do you see this square that's around it, D?
Yeah.
This is the area that you draw passive income from. So if an item is dropped in that area, it marks where it was dropped at. And every time that item trades in the marketplace, a percentage of the marketplace fees will go to the owners around that plot of land. So you see this square, that means you would get included in the passive income of stuff that either drops in that area initially or sells within that area. And so if you think about it, it's divided up among all the squares around it. So it's really just a sliver of the income on every one item, but over time it could add up. Now, I did do some math. What it adds up to is not huge over time, but it is some passive income that's amazing. So say you got a piece of land, say one of these ones for sale, and it includes a bunch, say one of these is close to a city. Now, perhaps a lot of transactions happen in that city. And because of where this is located, you see all those city plots are within the range of it. Maybe a lot of marketplace transactions happen in there. You can earn some passive income of the in-game currency as all of those trade. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a really interesting mechanic for as far as play to earn goes, because it gives the land some utility right away instead of just, I feel like a lot of what land Metaverse's promise is like, oh, you'll be able to like either rent your land or like advertise on your land.
Yeah.
And like, while that's cool in theory, like it just, there's a lot of ifs, at least to me. And a big if on this is, are people going to play the game? And if people play the game and stuff drops, like it adds a utility to the land right away.
Exactly. So the biggest question in play to earn gaming is, will it draw the crowds? Will it draw a lot of players? And part of the reason Axie Infinity turned out to be such an amazing investment is it was the first game to really hit with play to earn. In fact, they kind of carved that niche out. And as it really picked up some momentum and went viral through the Philippines and Southeast Asia, then the piece of land did amazing because the game itself was drawing lots of players. And so critical to play to earn and for investments such as this to do well is the game getting lots of traction. Now, some things that I like about that is the game has been in development for 3 to 4 years already. I mean, we interviewed back here one of the founders, and it was almost a year ago. You can see my thumbnails were much more basic, but they had been in development even at this time for a long time. I first spoke with the team in their earlier days, and that was about 3 years ago, and they had already been working on it for a while. So this isn't a game that's just trying to catch the wave of growth. This is a game that they had been talking about building for a while, and they started building. And they did start building with crypto in mind and doing it on the blockchain so that it could reinforce an ownership type society that I frequently talk about. So I'm excited where this is going. Now, you can trade it on Token Trove. You can trade it on OpenSea, but like you can see on OpenSea, you can't see where any of the land is at. And so my preferred place is here, and you have to be connected to the Polygon network through, if you have made a MetaMask account, you can then log into Token Trove or connect it up with Token Trove and be able to buy and sell directly like this. And so as far as their land, that's where I've been buying is through Token Trove. Just clean, easy to understand interface where I can see exactly where the land is at.
So Rain, the floor looks like a 0.21 ETH. Like where do you think that these could go from here?
Great question. So let's look at where some of the competition has been. What's helped me make good money in crypto in the past is just pattern recognition. And this pattern's kind of been developed on where things can go. There's been some other games that have really taken off, or metaverses that have taken off. And first we'll talk about Sandbox. Now, Sandbox, earlier, I don't have what the very, very initial prices were, but I remember this pre-sale event, November 12th, 2020, and I participated in this one. I was able to get just, I think, 1 or 2 pieces of land, and I got some at the other one. So you had to go in, and essentially it tells you the number of lands. What I wanted from this was the pre-sale, what this price was. Quick notes on buying land this week. The land pre-sale 4.3 is the last opportunity to buy at a discount, roughly $43 US per land token. So $43. Now, let's look at where the price is now. This is the entry-level price on OpenSea. The floor is 1.89 ETH. So ETH's trading about 3,500 a piece. So about 6,500. Now that is a discount. It was trading. The floor was 13,000 just 2.5 months ago. His prices went crazy when Facebook announced they were changing their name to Meta and that the Metaverse was the future, and anything related went crazy. The Sandbox entry-level land price went to 13,000. So with that retracement, it's only retraced 50%. And so you're talking about $7,000. So $43 to $7,000, not bad. Now, Embersword land is 10x from when it came out, right? So the question is, where could it go? So I think it was like $50, and it's gone to roughly about $650. So it's about 12x. I think it has another 10 to 30x in it. Now, before we get further into where those numbers come from, let's take a look at one other crypto game that's done well, and this is Axie Infinity. Now, Axie Infinity, I'm in the marketplace, and you can see their floor is about 5,300. Now, just 2.5 months ago, they were about 13,000 for their floor as well. And let's look at the price of what you could have bought these for if you were around during the crypto winter like I was. And I really hope all of you stick around for the following crypto winter. I know it'll get boring. I know a lot of people will leave. That's why it is such a great place to be, because you're able to buy everything on a massive discount. And this is what I did. I loaded up on Axie Infinity. It made sense to me. So the Savannah land crates were 0.05 ETH a piece. And at the time, ETH was trading for about $100 per ETH. So $5 per entry-level price of land. Or you could buy a whole Mystic land that came with a Mystic item, 3 rare or higher, and 6 common items, and a chance for Genesis land. And you could buy that for about $100. So on the land marketplace, you can see the entry level, the $5 Savannah land has gone 1,000x. And it actually went over 2,000x because it went to 13,000. It's pulled back some. And so amazing ROI, right? Now, if you bought Mystic land, and I bought some of these, those went to, at the high point, they were starting at about 70,000. And so they've pulled back to less than half as well. But that would have been about $100. And even with the pullback right now, it's at 30,000. So what's that, a 300x? The highest ROI was on these entry-level pieces. And that's why we're looking at the entry-level pieces. So crazy what those prices have gone from, right? And where they went. So that's why I'm bullish on games that I think will do well, and specifically on their land within the game. So even though there's no token for Embersword that you can buy or invest in right now, that's okay because we have this land. Now, do I wish these prices were cheaper? I do. I wish the price of Embersword land was cheaper. And it is if you're able to get one of the select pieces when they release the land, kind of like Sandbox does, you're able to get it for pretty close to that floor price. However, there are tons of people trying to get those, so your chances of getting some are much, much slimmer. So I was able to get one in the last land sale. I picked up another 13 or 14, and right around these prices. They've been kind of stuck around these prices for a little while the game is in development. But today they released this test version so that you can actually see and play it if you're a landowner or you own one of their badges. That's what you need in order to have access. Now, a lot of you might not have a badge that you got or the land, and so that's why we wanted to air some of the gameplay so you could get a feel for it. Now, if they're successful with their game and it attracts a massive number of users, then this land will pump tremendously. Now, where could it go? We've kind of seen this be already, the ground already broken towards a 13,000 price. And that's without massive, massive adoption in the crypto space. Now, last March, we had some pretty good adoption in the crypto space. I think a bigger run is coming. And if I'm right on that in the next 3 to 6 months, there'll be a ton of people coming into the crypto space, a ton of fresh money coming in. And money will then disseminate throughout the ecosystem. And my hope is then the land goes to anywhere from 13 to about 30,000. So if it's trading about $650, $700 from now, 13,000 would be a 20x from here. So what I'm hoping for is a 20 to 50x on this. I'll probably keep one piece, but I look at this as an investment. And so though I'm a gamer myself, I only need one piece really. With the piece, you get the title and everything. Most of this I bought in order for the investment side to grow my assets, right, and portfolio. So remember, even as it goes up, one of the things that I do is I take profits as it goes crazy because you never know where the top is. And so you don't want to wait till the very top in order to take profits as well as get your initial out. So what I do when the prices have often 3 or 4 or 5x, I take enough to at least get my initial out so that I can leave the rest in as a free ride towards those bigger price gains that I'm hoping for. Now, there are a lot of crypto YouTube channels out there. If you are looking for a different take and from someone with decades of experience as an investor, then consider subscribing and turning on the all notifications bell so you won't miss info hot off the presses before something pumps. I hope you like the content you're getting. My secret is simple. I buy low and I sell high. Though it is simple, it happens so much less than you would think. Most content creators don't think like investors, and so they can't really share with you how to think like one, right? It is going to be a wild ride in crypto, and I look forward to going through this journey together. Keep Embersword in the back of your mind. Check it out. See if it's something you're interested in. I'll be covering more investments that I like, not just in the gaming space, but other things. I don't just focus on one thing out there. I'm an investor. I have a broad portfolio. Now, when I started, like many of you, I only had enough to invest between 1 to 4 projects. But as that grew, I was able to invest in more and more and more. And I've been in the space for about 4 years. So my portfolio is probably spread across 130 to 150 different ecosystems and investments within the crypto space. And so I'm sharing with you the ones I like, particularly like to cover them when their prices are attractive. And then I cover them again when they're going crazy because I'd like to give you an idea of when I'm taking profits and how. So if you haven't already, make it rain on that like button. Join us. Remember, no rain, no gain.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, live out before you could, was told to buy when it was pouring.